Welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Expanse in our Fission all the way run. I can't see right now because we just loaded up at the beginning of the stream what the monthly balance is, but at the moment the monthly balance I believe should be negative. That's the main thing here at the beginning of the stream we're going to be working on. We're still working through the tech tree, mostly working through sort of efficiency checks. Right now we're working through, and that probably did a very bad job of jumping where I wanted to, didn't it? Yes, of course it did. Working through the graphene and diamondoids line. End of the diamondoids line is decreased construction cost of all facilities by 10%. That will probably be very useful for the terraforming techs. And we got that after atomic manipulation, so we're getting exotic alloys going better. I think after that I have... Oh, I skipped the electronics one. I felt like I had a lot of electronics earlier. Then we're going into launch costs to reduce the amount of hydrogen, into working partially towards mass drivers and space elevators, followed by the cargo holds. At which point we've actually got most of the sort of useful portions of the tree that don't involve not leaving fission away pretty much done. So then we'll start doing techs that aren't necessarily, at least if we're continuing the role playing, aren't necessarily particularly useful. I do need to work down fusion. I think we got fusion in there, right? Fusion's in there partially so that we can get to space elevator, I think. Oh no, mass propulsion, so we can get the the asteroids delivered for doing planetary elevators. Mercury-wise, Mercury's coming along pretty well. We're actually going to slow down on Mercury for the moment while we try to balance the budget. It is maybe a place where we might contemplate putting more people. I do, at least as long as we're delivering carbon there, do have a decent capacity to make water here, and by extrapolation then have a decent capacity to feed people. There's not much water on Mercury, so I don't want to get too carried away. As I think Solaris is hitting a slightly loud part in the soundtrack, so hopefully I'm speaking over it sufficiently. The moon is maybe another place where we do another expansion. You definitely could put a bunch more people there. We'd have to build more habitat up there. Although we do have metal up there, so that wouldn't be too hard to do. Just put more people on the moon. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. What are you complaining about? Not enough crew. It must be not enough resources, because it's plenty of crew. I got enough silicon. Did I run out of rares on the moon? I ran out of rares on the moon. Okay, so the rares have run out on the moon. We'll have to bring more rares in. And then we're building the radioisotope generators for export out to the Jovians and beyond. Which I think is what this rain here is winning for. How much more people do I want to put on the moon? My current food production would actually support quite a bit. How much food am I using in Earth orbit? Well, right now, fudge all because we've got no people up in Earth orbit. Okay, so I need like another 900 people in orbit. So I think we're ready to do... Let's go ahead and put people in orbit so I can evaluate how much food I need in orbit. And that'll give us enough time passing in the game so we can see how bad the deficit is. Short term, I think we're going to be shipping people out to the moon, to Ganymede, to Callisto. That's because in the case of Ganymede and Callisto, we have, much like the moon, we have extra food production, so I just have to build the housing and bring the people in. So I could run like 3 times the number of people on Ganymede, probably run 2 times the number on Callisto. Yeah. Callisto has the metal, so I'll probably just click Callisto queued up with the housing going right now. So it's got... Yeah, so probably build like another 10 houses on Callisto. Habitat, shift, build. Do I need to... And then I'll probably need to bring metal to Ganymede. Ganymede has some, so I can get some underway, as is. Ganymede's also low enough mass that I gotta do the cheaper underground habitats anyway, so I can actually afford building 10. About 7. If I want to triple it, Actually, probably want like 13. So we'll do 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we need to get people to orbit at Earth. The container for the people is on Earth, so I just need to get it launched, assuming I have enough hydrogen. Go ahead and quickly hire up 1,000. Well, hire up what I can. So I can launch 900 right now if I'm not worried about the Earth economy coming to a close in the short term, which I'm not actually that worried about. I do have the housing for them up in orbit, so that'll give us an idea of how much the people in orbit are cost-wise. And then unpausing for short bit should put more for recruitment. So Earth to Earth orbit. Orbital payload container. I'm going to shift-click, which is going to put all 10 on. The last one will actually just end up empty for the moment. This is going to want to ride up in the Territorn. Backing up, I do have some food, so let's send up 800 tons of food. You want to load more for the Territorn. It's a little bit tempting to say grab some of that carbon. 10k carbon for the moon. Sure, let's grab 10k carbon for the moon. Okay, we had the launch capacity for that. That's the strength of the Territorn. We're going to progress 3 days. More people are available, which we need to recruit to work all the jobs on Earth. Earth has housing for everyone that is now available, so we'll just recruit the missing people. We've advanced time, so we can get an idea of how much of a deficit we're running. We're running about 60,000, so we need to sort that out. I may want to build 3K. Or not 3, 3 or at least a couple more orbital upgrades for Earth orbit. Might go up to, that's where the 3 is coming. 3 of them. 3 more to go up from 1 to 4, so we can work through the satellites faster. And then we just want to build more satellites. So on Earth, I'm going to build, because I can buy this stuff for it on Earth. The satellites. Orbital construction yard. 1, 2, 3. And then when those are done, we can launch them. I think all 3 of those are going to start building at the same time. So in 100 days, we'll be able to launch those. I think the Territon... Oh, the Territon won't be, but we can always do the Magpie, which is the next best thing. Get them to orbit. And then I need to progress enough time that we get the food update. So, our 100, or basically 1,000 people in orbit, let's say consumes 0.22 food per day. So if I want the moon to be surplus by that number, I can put, obviously, more people on the moon. Yeah, so we could increase, let's round it up to 5, and so I can increase the population on the moon by a factor of 5 times more people. And we only have 500 people on the moon, so that says I can put another 2,000 people on the moon pretty comfortably. Partially this is because the moon is relatively warm. We have done some limited attempts at terraforming, although apparently those haven't been the most successful. And of course the moon's atmosphere is breathable to the degree that it is released, right? Because we've released enough oxygen and nitrogen for that ratio to be correct. So I want enough habitation to house 2,500 people. Right now, our options is habitat, habitat, and habitat. And I currently have 5 habitats. We'll ignore the sort of extra things like build 1 outpost that's worth like 10 people. So I want another 20 habitats. So when 10 of those are done, we'll move 1,000 people from Earth orbit to the moon. That should be easy enough to do. In the meantime, we do have a rain in... Although the rain in Luna orbit is for taking these radioisotopes up. Yeah, so let's advance time and wait till at least the radioisotopes are done. we have ongoing missions. I've got 13 Arraigns in Earth orbit, so we can definitely start sending people places. So if anything, I probably need to start building more human transport buildings. let's describe it that way. I need more of the transport modules. I need more of these. I can kind of get around using the small ones. They'll be a little bit tedious to do, but I can definitely get around with those ones. So for example, that's 300 crew there. So if there's a place I want to send 300 crew, we could do that right now. Of course, right now I'm thinking like sending 10,000 crew, or sending 1,000 crew at a place, so don't actually have that much, or have such small desires at the moment. Okay, so it looks like we're just gonna let some time pass. We got a bunch of ongoing missions. So these are all the cyclicals, 6 ongoing ones. Most of them are outbound, it looks to Jupiter. We have a Jupiter to Mars. That's one of the... Oh, most of these are all the cyclical. So we've got the Luna Orbit, or Luna Orbit to Lutetia, so that's a run to go grab more rares. And, okay, so most of my manual ones are done, if I were to attribute that. On Mercury, I have 19 people. I have 14 satellites. Can I launch... Am I making... First of all, am I making the stuff I need for comm satellites on Mercury? Glass, alloys, yes, definitely. Polymers, no, but we have a decent number of polymers there already. I have enough for 22. And then electronics, yes. Okay. So let's use the Territorn here to orbit the materials I need for another 16 satellites. They'll be behind the power stations. Well, I might intentionally move them up, but intentionally move them up at the satellite value from our crew, let's say. Okay, so 16. So I want to move the polymers from the ground to orbit. An orbital payload container. And this is where we're going to get into the math. So polymers is the thing I need to ship the most of. 16 times 30, so I need 480 for the current population. I then need to ship alloys as well. So it's going to be 25 times 16. So it's going to be 400 alloys. I'm going to need electronics. It's going to be 240. And then glass, which is going to be the smallest amount, at 80. Okay, let's get that to orbit. Right up on the Tetratorn. And we'll get some time passing. Okay, so that's in orbit. So I can queue those 16 satellites up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I'll complete the power stats that are almost done. But we'll postpone the other ones. Still have those satellites. Can Mars do more as well? Mars has a bunch queued up, so at least let the Martian ones complete. I'm not currently making any out at Jupiter/Ganymede. Although I've got no orbital construction places up here. And I don't make any glass, so we'd have to ship the glass in for the moment as well. Okay, so we're getting a bunch of things finishing. Communication satellite Mars, radioisotope, generator Luna. So I think for the moment, let's click on Luna. Luna's the one I know I've got a pending mission. I want the Arraign to carry these to Jupiter when those are complete. Orbital construction's complete on Earth. Luna to Lutetia has completed. Okay, so Lutetia, we have 2 Arraigns here. I think we want both of those to drag rares to the moon. The question is, do I bring metal along as well? Yeah, I think we're going to bring some metal along as well. So both of you are to transit to Luna. Lutetia to Luna, both Arraigns. Bring rares and metals. You need no launch vehicle because they're launching from an asteroid belt. I can save a bunch of fuel if I want to. We got a lot of fuel here, so I don't really need to. Instead, we'll take the immediate launch. It won't be as fuel efficient, but we'll get there. So we're looking August 8th, or if I press the optimal. Oh, interesting. So if I do optimal, we're sitting here, we're hanging around. But we actually get there 5 days earlier. Yeah, we get there 5 days later. If we do optimal, we save a bunch of fuel and we get there 5 days earlier. So unless I'm willing to burn more fuel intentionally, I don't think there's any benefit here. So we'll do that. Okay. Right now, some of our more valuable assets on the moon are not operating because we're out of rares, but it's not the end of the world. Cyclical mission cannot be created. Which one? Saturn orbit to Titan orbit. Why was that one not creatable? Is Saturn orbit out of hydrogen? It is. Okay. That's fine. You just take your time. Getting more communication satellites done, which should slowly over time help with the revenue generation, although colonists are much stronger, so we do want to still get colonists off of Earth and out to places. Almost ready for those radioisotope generators to start flying. Okay, radioisotope generators done. Oh, and I have the Earth launch to do for the orbital construction there, which will help with building solar panels faster. What else can I build in orbit? Well, I could build the crew compartments in orbit. I could build the crew compartments in orbit. So if I just want the 10 to go up and down, I can build more in orbit. So if that's the case, I might not want the smalls anymore. Yeah, I'm thinking it's time to go to the smalls and just focus on a bunch of... Well, actually, I'll keep the smalls around because they make good use for things when I don't want to ship hundreds of people. What I will do, however, is we'll click on those walls. Have them disabled for the moment. Might as well not pay for them if they're not being used. There's a couple other places I could go and find a few more to disable. I mean, these 3 want to go to orbit. Earth orbit, orbital payload container. 3 orbital constructors. Is the Terratorn is ready. I'm apparently procrastinated long enough for the Terratorn to be ready again. And the Terratorn can really carry some load if I want to ship stuff to orbit. And again, it's the most fuel-efficient option I have. Do I want that carbon in orbit? I've bought it. I think this is for maintaining, at this point, really for maintaining food production on the moon, right? So let's get that to orbit. I can actually put 10k in orbit fairly easily using that Terratorn. Assuming I have the fuel efficiency, we'll check with this. Next, if it asks for money, we don't have the fuel efficiency. So it's asking for money, we don't have fuel efficiency. There isn't actually a market value for hydrogen for me to buy. There's no hydrogen available for buying. But it, as a fallback, I believe it allows you to sort of cheat fuel in if there isn't any available. I don't want to take advantage of that, so we're going to turn this orbit order down. We're going to do 4K. I think I have enough hydrogen on the Terratorn to get 4K to orbit. Yeah. And then the moon. We're going to take these radioisotope generators to Jupiter. So I can use more power to improve the Jupiter system a little bit better. So Luna to Jupiter orbit on the Arraign in orbit. We got 9 modules en route. I think there's already 1 there for a total of 10. I just need to distribute them. That seems like a reasonable transit. Do I want to... We're running pretty light, so I could definitely burn some fuel to gain some speed efficiency here. There we go. Waiting for habitation now to build. Mercury isn't building any. Luna is. Ganymede is. Callisto is. And then the question is, how much do we want to wait for? And do I build my human transport modules on Earth? Build them off Earth. They're cheaper off Earth because I can use resources. What specifically are they? Polymers and alloys. Okay, so I don't actually have a lot of production of polymers. Weirdly, that makes Mars the best place to build them because I've got alloys and polymers both in Mars. So how many more do I want? I probably want like 20 of them. Wouldn't take very long for Mars to build 20 of them. I'd have to transport them somewhere, but that would work. Sure, and we'll build 20 of them. Okay, so now that's what we're watching for. I want those done. Those aren't going to take very long for Mars to build. First 10 of those done. Communication satellite's still coming up. We're We're now building them a lot faster, which should be helping. Oh, building more in parallel as well. Improved alloy production, more habitats. I'm already seeing the monthly bounds from the satellites coming down. That's a good step in the right direction. Okay, so I want these 20 modules brought to Earth orbit. Mars to Earth orbit. You can ride the semi-fuel efficient Hephaestus out. And I want 20 empty modules. And you know, we'll take some food along to make sure there's some food in Earth orbit. 300 supplies. Ride the Pelican up to orbit. I want you to burn a little bit more fuel than that. Go like 200. That didn't help much. Did not help much at all. Okay, we'll do like 300 then. We do have a bit of a full load is what's going on there. There we go. I don't think it's necessarily helping that much with the trip length, but... And then while this is going on, we are harvesting the oxygen and water on Mars. So in 15.7 years, we'll be able to, or be ready to start atmospheric terraforming, and 48.6 will be ready to start doing the hydroterraforming. And also that'll reduce a whole bunch of the upkeep because it'll allow us to start destroying those mines. Saw what looked like a orbital arrival. Presumably wasn't. Or... oh no, it was! That's the cyclical fuel resupply. That's my fuel arriving at the moon. Yeah, so we got the Mars, we got the radioisotopes outbound, we've got the rare metals inbound. And now I'm sort of... well, actually, the moment we're waiting for the modules to arrive, right? You know, getting through those satellites pretty quickly. Do you want to ship more satellite materials to Earth orbit? I can always build more satellites in Earth orbit beneficially. What am I missing? I'm missing alloy. So 250 tons of alloy, plus, if I want to do more than 10, polymer. The moon has some polymer, the moon has some alloy. Okay, so let's have the Prometheus make a run to the moon. Nice short jog out to the moon. And I'm only grabbing 800 tons of stuff. We'll grab 500 tons of alloy, 300 tons of polymer. It should be enough for another 20 satellites. More than that, I will need more polymer. Spacecraft Luna arrived at Jupiter orbit, so that was... radioisotope generators arriving. Okay. Where do I want to deploy those? Io, or we worked out that Io is, for the moment, not terraformed to the status we would like. So Io is not being not being played with. Nothing by autominers. So we got Ganymede and Callisto. Ganymede's got a pretty big production of polymers. be the main thing I think we're producing there, would be more polymers. Although I need to bring more metal in, so it's probably Callisto for local metal production. Drop it at Callisto, mine the Callisto metal better. We're using the radioactive generators to support more alloy makers, and more metal production, so we can do more metal in situ. Okay. So take all 10 radioactive generators for the moment to Callisto. Jupiter orbit, Callisto. Rain will do the carry. We're taking 10 along. Okay. Luna arrived at Earth orbit. So I should be able to queue up another 10 of these. Shift click for 10 and 20. There we go. So now if I want to do more, I need to bring more polymers and alloys in. We've got a lot of electronics, we've got a lot of glass. Alloys can come either from Mars or Mercury. The only big supply... Well, I suppose I have a decent amount at Mars. Polymers is Ganymede, so we may want to have the ship do a drop-by on Ganymede to pick up polymers for the return trip. Jupiter, Callisto... Okay, so you've arrived, you've dropped. Callisto now has tons of power. Now it needs its workers. Accept 400, and we've got another... Well, when we're ready, it's going to be able to accept 1,000. Okay. You have enough carbon for 100 years, so with this, that's what the existing food production as well. So yeah, I don't think I need to do a resupply on you. So you transit to Ganymede, so you can pick up some polymers for the return trip. You're not carrying anything, so do an orbit to Ganymede burn. And then can I do... In theory, you should show up at this point on Ganymede. So if I do Jupiter, Ganymede, to Jupiter orbit, Rain, I'd like you to add polymers. Ride the Pelican up. You're going to Jupiter, so take the minimum along. And then I'd like you to go from Jupiter orbit to Earth orbit. And we want the polymers to come to the next destination. There is hydrogen in orbit, so you should be able to grab the hydrogen in orbit. I might as well just have you take extra hydrogen along, so take a full tank of hydrogen. There we go. And it'll provide me with more polymers in Earth orbit, and also to bring more alloys in, probably from either the Moon or... Mars... Well, probably actually Mars or Mercury. As I'm thinking about it now. We got some arrivals, so that's a lunar arrival. That was my rares arriving. In a couple seconds, we should be getting an estimation of how long the rares are going to last. In the short run, I think it is time... We can probably send these guys right back out. to Letitia. We'll give them like 400 tons of fuel between the two of them, just to go faster. Oh, I guess when I'm doing this one, it's actually doing the math for one. That's where the math is coming in there. Okay. If I want to do it 200 each, I actually want to go for that number, hit fastest. Then it's giving me the estimation. Okay. So 5.4 months, not too bad. Getting a fairly straight line is what's going on there out to Letitia. Being able to use the fission for aggressive thrusting. And if we pass a little bit of time, we'll get an estimate of how long that's going to last, which is only 8.9 years, so not that long. Which is why we're just going to immediately go get another group, another load. And we're waiting for the Martian components, or for me to have enough habitation on the moon that I'm willing to do a run over to the moon. Not quite there yet. We've got 200 built. I'd like, because I can bring the full 900 over in one go. I'd like to have 900-ish ready to go. Ganymede arrived to Jupiter orbit. Okay. Moon's waiting on habitats. I suppose I'm waiting on habitats for Ganymede and Callisto as well. Although those might also just be waiting for me to transit stuff to Earth. Again, we already have the deficit here in 37 minutes of gameplay. Mostly by building communication satellites, to be fair. Atomic manipulation is done. So now we're doing the exotic alloys at maximum speed onto the polymer techs. Luna arrived at Letitia. Okay, so return trip time. Letitia to Luna. Both the rains are going. Again, we're going to take half rare, half metal. May have missed the launch window, so we arrive March, or if we do optimal. March the year before, yes. We're gonna do the optimal burn here, just because it's gonna get us there sooner. Communication satellite, communication satellite, communication satellite. We're just burning through the communication satellites. Did something just arrive? Oh, it would have probably been a cyclical mission if it's not showing up in the... Yeah, probably a cyclical mission just arrived. Like I saw a ship arrive. It's probably one of the cyclical missions, Living Hydrogen. Mars at Earth. Okay, so now I have modules for human transportation. So I can say send 900 people somewhere and still have modules in Earth to reorbit people. Keep the Earth waiting room actually being used and occupied. Okay, so I've got 500 on the moon. I've got space for 400. We've got a Prometheus in orbit. Let's immediately move 400 people to the moon. Yep, that's not the moon game. Earth orbit the moon. Prometheus, please transport 400 people. It's the moon, so I would be surprised if the Prometheus doesn't have enough food capacity. Yeah, it's going to take 7 days there. The Prometheus alone can carry enough food, so we don't need to put any food in the cargo bay. Off you go. Okay. Next potential target. I would like to expand metal production on Callisto. I currently have habitation space for 700, and we'll have... Okay, so let's see what 700 on a rain is going to be transit-wise, or yeah, 700 on a rain transit-wise is going to look like. So, Earth orbit, actually it won't be 700 because I don't have 700 in orbit. I ship what I have in orbit, which is... What did it send to the moon? We'll send the moon one first, because I want to know how many I've actually got in orbit. I forgot. It wasn't that long ago. So, launch is away. That's all I needed. I needed them to launch, so I knew how many people I had to play with. So I currently have 500 people. We'll just send 500 people to Callisto right now. Earth orbit to Callisto. On an arraign, we have them sitting around. Don't use the S-size ones, use the bigger ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 500 people. Send like 100 supplies for the transit. Yeah, that'll work. It's a fairly light load. I'm willing to spend some extra fuel to get them a little efficient. We're basically going to the fuel station, so the ship can come back with extra fuel. There we go. Save effectively means they arrive with the food instead of arriving with no food. Okay, and they'll be here until December. They're actually going to be hanging around for about 4 months before they launch. Okay, so that 500 people is accounted for. So let's put another 1,000 in orbit. Earth, orbit, Earth. Orbital payload container. Crew compartment L. Drop 10 of them to Earth. Empty. Okay, and I'm gonna launch 1,000. I need more people. So we recruit. Yeah, we'll recruit that many people. And then these want to get to orbit. Earth, Earth orbit, orbital payload container, all the crew modules that we prepared. Right up on the Terratorn. I can bring up some more carbon while we're at it. Here we go. Okay, more people in Earth orbit. So I've got another 1,000 ready for outbound. Ganymede would also be another potential place we could go. Ganymede housing is probably being built slower, because the underground halves take twice as long to build. On the other hand, I have housing for another 300 right now. So let's have an arraign take 300 out. Earth orbit to Ganymede. And we'll give them like 50 food for the trip. And we'll give them like 300 tons of Delta V. again, they're leaving in December. That works out. And now at this point, we're waiting for the moon, probably for the next transit. Although, we're waiting for habitat, so might as well just take back the empty modules. Okay, so empty crew module, Earth orbit. Luna to Earth orbit. Ride the Prometheus. Add the empty module. And we might as well fill the Prometheus up with food. Moon has food. Pelican ride to orbit. Flight back to Earth orbit. Okay. I think before I do any more solar mirrors, I'm gonna hold. Well, I haven't done any more magnetosphere modifications. That's what they're called, right? Not that one. Yeah, so magnetosphere generator. We're gonna do some orbital ones. Before I do any more, or before I do any of the orbital ones, to be fair, we're gonna hold off until we have dynamites. That's not too far out. Game's saying 6 years. Yeah, that looks about to be 6 years. We're about 6 years out from that. But this will save us 10% on the cost. So instead of 30k, it's going to be like 27k. My understanding is correct. Okay, so we're waiting for the polymers to come down. I could definitely use a alloy shipment from Mars to Earth orbit for satellites. Assuming Martian orbit doesn't need more satellites. Got 73 going on 77. Must have miscounted because I presumably meant for that to be the correct amount for the people I have, which 73 would have been appropriate. Either way, that works. Okay, so I don't really need more Mars. So yes, it's alloy run to Earth orbit home or communication satellites. So I either want to send in a rain or a Hephaestus for pickup. Could actually send 2 Hephaestus for pickup. That wouldn't be too bad, no. Let's send both Hephaestus for pickup of alloys and maybe a little bit of polymers from Mars. They're flying empty out, so we'll give them 100 tons of fuel each for speed. One month, 21 days. Okay, Mercury has finished its satellites, yes? Yeah, the 20 are done at Mercury. Again, helping with the revenue, but that's... At least in the list, we're going to put more people on Mercury. That is where we're going to stay. And yeah, we can do a little bit of increase on Mercury, but not much. And I think we'll do increases on Mercury more to account for employee demand, which is how we're going to rack up the bill again when we fix it. We're going to fix it first, then we're going to break it again, as I apparently tend to do. Oh, and they're there. Okay, so it's transport time. Did my polymers from Jupiter arrive yet? No. The Martian ones will probably arrive first. So let's do polymers, Earth orbit. So we'll take 600 polymers along. And the rest of the cargo hold of alloy. Raid the Pelican up. I'm willing to spend some fuel to go a little faster. Give me like a 5... No... Yeah, give me like a 500-ton burn. Oh, that didn't really save much time, did it? It's not enough to make the current launch window. Okay. 1,000-ton burn? That gets us tail end of the last one. Leave in December. So basically launches ASAP. Arrives July, which isn't too bad. Okay. Paying the Surrey turret should go fast. And away it goes. And there's our outbound to Jupiter. Taking slightly different trajectories because they have different cargo loads. Graphene is complete. Tisha arrives at the moon. Okay. So now we're out of 15 years for the rare, 23 for the metal. Do I need more rares anywhere? Yes! Mars. Mars need rares. So those arraigns are to go back to Letitia to retrieve rares for Mars. Off they go. What I say basically what is the risk of gravity turn around the sun there? Where Letitia is, okay. Okay, one of the cyclical missions was delayed. It doesn't super surprise me. I think that's probably the Saturn, or the Saturn to Titan one that's getting delayed repeatedly. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's fine. Jupiter orbit, Earth orbit. That is the polymers. Oh, and the Hephaestion already arrived. Okay, so we can get more satellites going. And again, I can run functionally infinite satellites at Earth because of the Earth government to generate revenue. Okay, that's all I can queue up because we run out of alloys at that point. That should be a long enough queue to keep Earth busy for a while. Okay, so what I think we'll do is we'll wait until these missions arrive, and then we'll plan the next pair outbound to Callisto and Jupiter. Earth's waiting room in the moment is actually got 700 people in it. I could ship 300 more to the moon. Let's go ahead and do that. So Prometheus to Luna. Ship 300 people. It is the moon, so you probably don't need to bring any dedicated food. Just the food that fits in the Prometheus' cargo and the dedicated food cargo hold works. And they are at the moon. So 300 more people on the moon. Which, there isn't a revenue difference between the waiting room and the moon. The point is, taking people out of the waiting room is now I can put new people in the waiting room. That makes much sense. So let's actually orbit you. Yeah, Luna to Earth works as long as it's empty. don't want to be taking the Martian, don't take the lunar population back. Here we go. Oh, I probably need to do a carbon run from Earth orbit to the moon. That was the whole point of putting the carbon in the orbit. Let's not beat around the bush there. So let's have 2 of the rains take it over fairly quickly. So Earth orbit to Luna. 2 rains. 5 tons of carbon to be delivered. And then Earth orbit has holding space for another 500 people. So let's drop 2 more pods and then launch 500 people. The Territorian, because I've been waiting long enough, is actually ready to go again. Bring up another 1,000 carbon on the launch, maybe. Yeah, that works. How much hydrogen do I have in orbit? I have 10k in orbit. Let's drop 5k. Go. Transit to the moon with that carbon is done. So now I don't need to worry about the moon running out of carbon anytime soon. Let's get those rains back to Earth orbit. Luna to Lutetia is complete. Okay. So you are both to go to Mars. Lutetia to Mars. 2 Arraigns. Bring the rares. How are you able to launch into a launch vehicle? Oh, Lutetia. I'm getting my source and destination confused. Lutetia we can launch from a launch vehicle. Mars I cannot. I'm not launching from Mars, I'm launching from Lutetia. I'm willing to spend like 600 tons to go fast. Yeah, not saving me much time. Okay, so everything on Callisto is built, so we're waiting for people to be transferred there. Ganymede is taking longer because the Ganymede construction is slower. People have arrived. So I want these empty modules going back to Earth orbit. Ganymede to Earth orbit. Although do I go? Let's go via Jupiter first. So Jupiter orbit. So Ganymede to Jupiter orbit. Your rain is going to take you. Empty crew module. And 700 tons of polymer. 720 tons. That actually maths a little bit better with what I need to deliver to Earth for the communication satellites. Oh, and I can take some food while I'm going. Ganymede has a ton of food. And Earth would not be amiss for some food. Okay, ride the Pelican. Do minimum here. Okay, so now that that's planned, I have a Jupiter orbit to Earth orbit order. Want that of rain to do the transit. I want those supplies all to go on to the next destination. We need a launch vehicle. Jupiter does have fuel, so we can pick up fuel while here. You want to do fast or do an optimal? We'll do optimal for the return trip. That way we get some more fuel back at Earth. It's going to take almost 2 years for the transit, but better than nothing. And then the Callisto one hasn't arrived. It's actually arriving May 1st. So a couple months out. Ganymede arrived at Jupiter. From there, should launch relatively quickly. Although it's actually... I didn't see a gravitational effect there. Oh, no, there it is. So it's already going, I think. Yes. Or... Not sure which mission's which. Click on you? Yeah, okay, so that is the outbound. That is Callisto 2, which is the inbound. The ship supply base was not going to be enough, but the extra we loaded on is going to be fine. Okay, transit arrived. And again, we want to do a transit to Earth orbit with these empty modules. I think we'll go via Jupiter again. So, Callisto to Jupiter orbit. The Rain is doing transit. The crew modules, empty, are going. All 5 of them. And then might as well fill the ship up with useful stuff we want elsewhere. I could take food along, but I think here we're going to take alloys. There's a lot of alloys here. A lot of very usable alloys. Again, get to Jupiter, and then we will plan the Jupiter orbit to Earth orbit transfer. Cargo will go to the next destination, yes. Make the optimal transfer. Okay. And now, there's an orbit to make use of the people we have in Earth orbit in the waiting room. So I've got 1,600 here. I could do with another 400, let's say, people on Callisto. In fact, I could, in theory, feed more than that. Maybe I was underestimating when I said the number before. Must have been underestimating, yeah. Well, that may have been intentional. Uh-oh. 16. Clear the calculator. 1635. We'll round up, we'll say it's actually 19. And then we'll multiply by 31. My estimation's saying I can put about another 1,000 there. Okay. I obviously don't have the housing for another 1,000. I have the housing for like another 500. Although I can queue up another 500 housing, let's say. Another 500 construction. And we can ship the first 500 right now. So let's do that. So Earth orbit, first 500, outbound to Callisto. Earth orbit to Callisto, ride in rain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take along 100 food. So yeah, we'd have enough food on the optimal transfer window here. Although we'd be camped out for a while. And I'm willing to spend some fuel. So let's say, if I give you like 300 tons. What are you getting me? Saves them, particularly saves them in transit, which I think is the valuable part there. Makes them arrive with more food. And then we can do the same for Ganymede. Currently have housing for 200, although the currently building underground hab will be done before they arrive, so I can probably send another 300. So let's assume I can send 300. Earth orbit Ganymede, riding in a rain, sending 300 people. We're sending less people, so we can send like 50 food. And again, I'm still willing to spend like 300 tons of fuel. So these guys will get there a little bit faster because they'll have more effective acceleration there. And yeah, that works out. And then how comes the moon? I could put another 100 on the moon. We'll wait a little bit longer before I put more on the moon. So let some time advance. And I'm now, in theory, back in the green. And of course... Oh no, those haven't shipped. We'll wait until they launch at least, before I refill the wait room. And now we see money's ticking up, because we are in fact making money. Maybe not very fast. That's my launch window. Nanotubes are done. Diamondoids are next. Callisto away. Ganymede away. Nope. Apparently we're negative at the moment because of all the constructions completing. Probably, yeah, it's the unused habitats, I suppose. Unused habitats are not good for the treasury. Oh, and the power side is probably expensive. How much do you cost? 5.1k for the 34 of them? That's not that bad. Surprised the monthly budget is not looking as great then. Facility cost keeps rising. I assume those habs are not free to have, so we want them filled. Oh no, habitats are free. Isn't that the main thing I'm building? Unbuilt ones are obviously free. Yeah, you're free. Not sure why we were positive and now we're not. There's something built in the meantime. Although, and must have been the orbital power stations. Must not have been that much positive that I was thinking. Or something about nanotubes caused the cost to go up. That might be the case as well. Either way. I want more people on the moon. The moon can support another 3... We'll say 300. The problem that I'm actually running into on the moon is the moon's population itself is growing. So it would have been 400, but we actually grew just enough that that would put us over. So we'll send 300 to the moon. The moon is not Earth game. Go. No point in sending an expensive ship, if I go. I don't have enough people in orbit. I have... Yes, I do not have enough people in orbit. Okay, so never mind. We are planning a mission from Earth to orbit. I've got about 200 in orbit, so I actually kind of want to launch... I'll actually launch a full 10k. So let's Earth orbit. Drop 10 empty pods. That's 11, that's 10. Yeah, and of course I will need to hire the crew that I'm going to ship to orbit. That'll work. And we'll take some more carbon to orbit. On the Territorn. Being warned that cash is critically low. I guess it's basing that off of expenses. It's probably not including the my revenue generation. So now we're making 11k because we're now making more revenue. We're building more satellites. Okay. And then, yeah, I want another, what was it, 300 on Mars? Or 300 on the moon? 300 on the moon. So of those people we just put in orbit, I'd like to send 300 of you, not to Earth, to the moon. Off we go. Here we go. Earth orbit to Luna. Done. So more people on the moon. Jolly good. And then we want those empty modules back in Earth orbit. And then I might as well return with something as well to fill the cargo hold up. Could sell these exotics. I don't necessarily need more ships right now, and the revenue would definitely make it less likely to be paused due to something not tracking. We'll sell some electronics as well. Ride the Pelican up and over. And then from Earth orbit, we'll do a drop of the resources. So those rares, yeah, we're gonna sell the exotics here. So Earth orbit to Earth. Orbital payload container, drop the exotics. I think I loaded up like 500 electronics to sell, so we'll sell those as well. And then yeah, we sell the exotic alloys. 2.6 million for what we can sell. There's still 12 or 120 left. And then the electronics, 1.4 million. Get a new sell order for exotics. There we go. 7.8. Much healthier balance. So we're revenue positive with 15k. We are still got pretty high expenses. There's nothing I can do really to bring the expenses down. So at this point, it is make more revenue and get more people off world. How comes the oxygen terraforming? We're down to 11.2 years. So again, when that oxygen is gone, we will be ready for the oxygen forming, or the atmospheric forming on Mars. Almost to the point, assuming I have diamondoids, to start shipping alloys en masse to Martian orbit. If anything, we're going to need launch capacity to get off. Oh, that's actually relatively light to get off of Mercury. So yeah, I can get one whole launch per Terratorn, which isn't actually too terrible. Okay. So yeah, I think in the next one, everything, because we got the balance positive. It's 15k. I probably still want to continue with the plans to get more people out to Callisto and Ganymede as those build up, and the moon. But I think I can start to refocus a little bit back onto terraforming again. Mainly in scaling up alloy production. Because thinking about it, how quickly... So what, the Terratorn, if we say we send it up every launch on a Terratorn. So if I want to send 27,000 alloys to Martian orbit every day, or not, Mercury orbit every day, or not every day, every Terratorn launch, so I can build shields. So that means I want to do a launch every 216 days. We divide by that. That means I want to make like 125 alloy a day. That's a lot. That's probably more than I can realistically do. But for the moment, I think that's worth trying to do. Continue to scale up production. We'll run out of that deposit and beyond that deposit, but 22 megatons that's not running it anytime soon. So yeah, probably move on to getting people in Mercury alloy producing jobs so I can get that radiation shielding for Mars, for Mercury itself, and for the moon. And obviously, as we start to get the radiation shielding improved on Mars, if we get enough, we'll pick this quest up, or this quest will complete. So, I think we're going to be working towards that quest. I would like to get the first shipment launched as soon as diamondoids are done. I think we can do that. We won't be obviously producing them every 216 days at that point, but getting the first one physically off of Mercury on the way to Mars to go combo with the diamondoids, I think is doable. So, looking at the time, I think it is part for a part break. A good time for a part break here. So if you're watching on YouTube, we will have another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I'll be back as soon as the ad is done, because I'm taking a moment to get up, stretch some legs, sip some tea. So until the next part, I am going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream, and bye for now.